If you're wondering whether to bulk or cut, well, this video is for you. If you look in the mirror and you see yourself skinny fat, you're small, you don't have that much muscle on your frame, you want to gain muscle, so you think maybe you should be bulking, but if you have a skinny fat frame, what you need to do is just get right to it. You need to get to a cut. You need to shred all that excess fat off your belly. And that's just what it is. If you start bulking now, you're going to be way behind. If you're starting from a smaller point, putting on the muscle, bulking from a skinnier, leaner point, versus say you're skinny fat now when you're starting to bulk, by the end of your bulk you might look like a slob if you do not have it under control. And if it's your first time bulking, you most likely will not have it under control. That's just the way it is. So say you're skinny fat, what you need to do right now, if you're not doing cardio already, you need to implement it. Stick with your weight training, train intensely, train hard, give it your all, go all out every time you're in the gym. Whether you're doing cardio or weightlifting, just put your all into it. That's what you need to do. And now you need to be getting a lot of protein. You're going to be cutting. You want to retain any of the muscle you do have. You're already kind of lean, I'm guessing, if you are skinny fat. I mean, by lean, I mean you have a low amount of muscle. So if you're skinny fat, you have low amount of muscle, but you have fat. Say you have some bitch tits maybe. You have a belly going on. You need to get rid of that. You need to start from a fresh point. And now if you're looking in the mirror, you're okay. You're not super jacked. You got some muscle. You don't have too much fat. It's all right. Start bulking. That's fine. You know, if you gain 15 pounds in the course of months, that's totally fine. And I like to do my bulks bare minimum 3 months long. That way you can get the most out of it because your body's adjusting constantly throughout the way. Say you go and do it for only a month, you gain a couple of pounds. It's going to be shitty weight. Most likely if you gained an excess amount of weight in just 1 month, it's going to be a lot of fat. So the way you want to do it, you want to drag it out as many months as you can. A couple pounds a month really is ideal if you're trying to do a true bulk as a natural, especially. You're going to stretch it out in between months and months and months, because if you're doing just 1 month, you're only going to gain a pound or two at that excess, and then you're going to gain some fat as well, and it's not really worth it that way. At least 3 months. Shoot for 6, why not? A lot of people, they want to be shredded for summer. Well, if you're skinny, you don't have much muscle, what do you want to be shredded for? What are you going to be showing off? There's not much to show, you know what I mean? There's no point of doing that. Your long-term goal is to gain muscle anyway, so why wouldn't you just focus on that? That's your main goal, right? You're trying to pack on solid size. Then how should you bulk? Okay. 500 calories per day burnt will lead to a pound a week lost. 3,500 calories, and then it goes the same with gaining. If you eat an excess of 500 calories per day, in 1 week you should gain a pound if you're not changing your expenditure at all. If everything else is the same besides the food. And that's totally fine. So if you do it that way, you're going to be gaining or losing a pound a week. And that can equal out to like 4 pounds a month, you know what I mean? And that's not bad. That's not bad at all. You can speed it up, but there's diminishing returns almost. I don't know if that's the way you would say it, but so if you're losing weight too fast, you're going to lose muscle. You're going to be deficient almost. You're going to be weak. You're going to lose muscle. You're going to lose strength. And then if you eat too much over that calorie surplus, you're going to gain a lot of extra fat, more than you would have otherwise. And then when you're cutting, say you're doing the 500 deficit, it works. You lost so many pounds, you know, that you get to a good point. Then it starts slowing down. What do? You need to lower it again because your body and your metabolism adjusts to that weight you are at. So you say lower it by 250 from that point. You already brought it down 500, then you lower it 250 on top of that. You know, and this is getting down to the extreme. You can do it by 100. You can do it by 300 if you're really trying to do an aggressive cut, but you are going to lose muscle mass. You're going to get weaker. And then same thing when you're gaining. You're going to be at a 500 calorie surplus, and then eventually taper off because your body and your metabolism is getting used to where you are at. Then you can add 100, 150, 200 more calories on top of that, and you just keep going. You'll plateau, and you add more calories, plateau, add more calories, lose weight. You plateau, less calories. You plateau, less calories, just like that. It's very simple. But like I said, you want to stretch it out as long as you can when you're doing the bulk. And when you're doing the cut, you do not want to rush it, but you don't want to drag it out either. I'd say 2 pounds a week you know, that's some good weight you're gonna lose. That really is. That's nothing to scoff at there. But if you push it much further than that, you're going to hinder yourself in the long run. Then your bulk will be for nothing in a way. So what do? Well, I'll tell you what you do. You do it smartly and effectively. You do not drag it out. You do not take any shortcuts because that's not going to work. You're not going to get the solid results that you're after. When you're doing your cut, you want to eat as clean as possible, do your cardio, do your weights, do everything, get good sleep. You want to get the cut over as fast as possible because yes, you can still gain muscle while you're in a calorie deficit, but it's going to be a lot slower than when you're in even a slight surplus. At maintenance, you can even gain muscle. It's going to be slightly faster at a surplus, and it goes on and on and on. So during the cut, you want to get done as fast as possible, but you do not want to rush it where you're hindering your progress by losing muscle mass. It's very simple. If you didn't catch it, watch this video a couple times and you'll understand what I'm saying to a T. It's very simple. Like I said, you got to train hard throughout this whole thing because when you're cutting, you can lose strength too. That's just a given. You're going to lose strength. But if you're training very hard, you can still be doing the same amount of weights, but say if you lower your repetitions, less volume, less sets, but you keep that weight the same so you maintain some of the strength. You don't want to lose it. Say you're going on your cut and you're like, oh man, I'm really losing a lot of strength, and you just go down and down in weight and you're allowing it to happen. Don't do that. You got to fight for the weight that you earned, that you're lifting. You got to fight to maintain that. That's what it's all about, man. Bulking and cutting. It's pretty simple. It's a integral part of weightlifting. It's something that everyone goes through. A lot of people fuck it up. They do it to an extreme. Even when they're bulking, they'll loosely or not even count their calories at all. And then they're kind of just, you know, they'll gain a couple pounds, they'll maintain, they'll lose a pound or two, all while bulking. Then they'll gain a couple more, lose a pound. It's because they're not being methodical. They just said, hey, I'm going to go on a bulk. This is what I'm doing. I'm going to eat more. And then I'm eating just a bunch of junk, really, and they're not planning it out. They're not methodical. They're not tracking their calories, which you need to do if you really want to be optimized to the T. Now, you can do it without it, but you just have to be smart on everything you're eating. You can't just be like, oh, I'm intuitively eating. Then you eat a fucking donut. That makes no sense. You're like, oh, it's in my calories. You don't know how many calories you ate today. You have to be methodical. You have to be smart. You have to plan this shit out. I'd say if you're right now, you're questioning your physique, get on a 6-month bulk if you're in the position for it. Train hard as fuck. Do not overeat. Do not become a slob. And at the end of it, you should only have to cut for about a month and a half, if that. Because like I said, you want to do it at a steady pace. You're spreading it between the months and the months and the months. You're not doing it all at once. You become a fat slob and you don't know what to do with yourself and you want to back out of the bulk because you're gaining too much fat and you got a moon face. Well, it's your fault. You got to do it slowly. A pound here, a pound there, a pound here, a pound there. You just got to get to it slowly. You can't rush perfection. You know what I mean? This is art you're building here, baby. You got to be ready for it. So why not caffeinate? Caffeine is great for the gym. Now I'm drinking some coffee right now, but I do drink pre-workout. I do have energy drinks. I like Ghost. For the powder that I use, my pre-workout powder, I use Gorilla Mind. I enjoy that one. It's a non-stim even for at night. Then I do also have the Gorilla Mind gummy worms. That one is not bad at all. I like that one. That one is caffeinated. Caffeine will just give you that little extra boost. It boosts your metabolism. It increases mental clarity. And it's not like a superhuman chemical, you know what I mean? But it gives you a little boost. Some people say they stay away from caffeine, and that's all right. But, you know, any little thing can help. Anything to push you over the edge, even a percent here, a percent there. If you're not taking creatine, you should. That'll increase your muscle mass by even just a little bit. But every percentage you can get, you want to get. You want to grab every percentage you can and take it. You'll be miles ahead of everyone if you take all these things into consideration. You're dialed in with your sleep, nutrition, your supplementation, your training, everything to a T. You will be a beast. A lot of people, they're missing this ingredient, that ingredient, but that's okay. It takes time to build a perfect recipe. But once you get all these things together, you'll become a new you physically, mentally, and you'll just grow all together. But The main point of this video was, when should you bulk? If you're skinny fat, go on a cut. Strip the fat down. Start from a solid base. If you got some good muscle, you're relatively lean, just hop on a bulk, man. It's all right. And if you're skin and bones right now, you look in the mirror, you're skin and bones, start bulking. Train hard as fuck. No way around it, man. Oh, I can't eat enough. You need to shovel that shit down, man. Hella protein, hella carbs, rice, sweet potatoes, steaks, ground beef, turkey burgers, eggs, fish. Perfect diet there, man. Get some vegetables, get some fruit. You'll be good to go. Hope this answered your question, and I'll catch you in the next video.